What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode number 46 of the Hardcore Group Ironman series. In the last one, I did a ton of Slayer, and then I moved into doing construction. I believe I got from level 90 to 92 in the last video. So the main goal for this video, of course, is to finish with 99 construction, which will probably take me about 50 or so more hours, including doing herb and birdhouse runs. And I'm also going to be making headless arrows and broad arrows throughout the entirety of this, and I'm currently going to be starting off with 85,000 of those. So here comes the first level of the video. There is 93 construction, and I'm also up to 119,000 total headless arrows made so far. So here's another update for you guys on the headless arrows. I just finished making all 151k of these. Before I move on to making these into the broad arrows themselves, I noticed that I'm really close to having enough of these to get to level 93 fletching. I need to make 12,500 more of them, so I'm going to do that first before I move on to the broads. Alright, so now I have 164,000 headless arrows, and I need to buy the broad arrowheads. I have 13 million GP left. Assuming by the time I buy all of these, I'm probably only going to have like a million GP left. It's for the most part just going to completely destroy my cash stack. That actually didn't cost as much as I thought it was going to. It cost me 9.3 mil, so I still have about 4 million GP left. But yeah, now that I have these, my XP rates, as you guys saw before, I was making like 8,000 headless arrows an hour. And since these are going to be 10 times that XP, I'll be getting about 80,000 fletching XP per hour while doing construction here. Only been about 20 minutes since I last saw you guys, but there is level 94 construction. And there is the first fletching level that is level 91. Also, I forgot to mention this in the last clip. Let me put this up here really quick. I broke 200 million total XP, so it's like a little cool milestone on the side. Looks like I'm about 2.5 hours away from the next construction level. And there is a level 95 construction. I have about 35 total more hours left to go. Alright, there is level 92 fletching. I have about 70,000 more broad arrows to make, and from the amount I've made so far and how far I still have left to go, I'm pretty sure that I'm still going to have to make some more headless arrows in the future, so I'm going to have to take a break a little bit later to make some more arrow shafts. Hey, and there is level 96 construction. So, two things here. Number one, there is level 93 fletching. And the second is I'm now completely out of supplies to make my headless arrows. I'm going to go do some math and get an idea of how many more I'm going to be able to make all the way up until I get level 99. And then I'm going to get back to it. I am currently 150k away from 97 construction. So this is a pretty interesting one. Across my Ultimate Ironman and this account, this is the first time I've gotten a construction level off like the actual stuff you have to build in the building. All the other times I get it off the big XP drop at the end. So I guess that's a pretty unique thing on this like repetitive grind. Okay, there's level 98, guys. One more level left to go, which will end up taking about 10 total hours. So once again here, I finished making a ton of headless arrows. I'm up to 80,000 of these now, and this is more than enough to get me to level 94 fletching, which I should be able to finish by the time I reach 99 construction. The only problem is I don't have enough GP to get all of the broad arrowheads I need, so I'm going to have to go and sell probably like 5,000 of the 66,000 blood runes I have, and that'll put me up to 5 million GP, which will be enough to do it. So I know I say this a lot when I tend to get levels, but this is like actually a huge level. For me, level 89 Hunter, and with this I can start using my redwood logs to make birdhouses, and I have about 7,000 of those, so I shouldn't really have to worry about needing any more, I don't think. But it's going to increase my XP rates by a lot. I don't know how good they are when it comes to getting better seeds or like more yield for nests. I don't really know if it affects it too much. But at this point, I am also 61% from 98 to 99 construction. Also, if you guys do end up enjoying the video and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe so you can get notified the next time that I upload a video. I finally reached the point where I am almost completely out of steel bars and teak planks, and I'm still a ways away from getting to 99. So I did this on purpose when I started, and that's because I have 9,000 points here that I can use on buying these supply crates in here, and from these you get oak planks, teak planks, mahogany planks, and also a bunch of steel bars. So I don't know if that's going to be enough to get me 400,000 XP, but I definitely wanted to make sure I left enough to save me money. The amount of steel bars I'm going to get from this are going to be really good too, because I'm going to be using them for the smithing minigame as well, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about that once I get to it later on in this video. I got a lot of stuff from that. 1,700 steel bars, 2,300 oak planks, 937 teaks, and 248 mahoganies. With all of these combined, it honestly might just be enough to get me there. I'm going to be making larders with the oak planks because it'll be a lot faster, and the other two I'm just going to continue doing the mahogany homes, but 1700 steel bars is going to be really helpful for me. And that is going to be the final fletching level, level 94. So overall, the XP that I've gained from fletching while doing construction is a pretty decent amount, 2.5 million XP, and of course this includes making all of the headless arrows. To get the rest of 99, I'm going to have to make another 500,000, and honestly, I have no idea where I'm going to be doing that. Originally, I was planning to do it with rune crafting when I was doing blood runes, but since they added the minigame, I can't really do that now, so it's probably going to get to the point where I'm just going to have to stand still and like fletch at the bank while doing farming contracts towards the end of the account. So after a total of, I believe, about 170 hours of doing construction, if you count the time I did on my Ultimate Ironman into this account, I'm finally done with construction. There is level 99. So as you guys saw from before, I also got the 2.5 million fletching XP from this. And I also, if you look up here on the left, I'm 22% from 94 to 95 magic. So I got probably about 200k or more magic XP from doing this too. So with the current point I'm at right now, I mentioned this earlier on in the video, I want to go and test the new smithing minigame. I honestly have no idea how to do it. I have to look at a bunch of guides and get an idea first. The one thing I know for sure is I'm going to need a ton of steel bars and a ton of mithril bars. So I have gone through my bank here and gotten everything that I'm going to need here, the steel bars and the myth bars. I also have a ton of coal, thankfully, and a decent amount of mithril ore to make more. I'm going to be starting off here by trying to match the amount of steel bars I have with the amount of myth bars. So I'm going to make 1,300 more myth bars, and of course, I'm going to be doing that at the blast furnace. So I'm not going to know this for sure until I actually get into testing this. But rough math-wise, it's looking like I'm going to be using about 224 steel bars and 224 mithril bars per hour. So the amount I'm making right now will be enough for me to test this for probably around 7 hours to get a decent idea of how many I'm going to need to make to 99. Alright, there is all of the bars made, and I got another 40,000 XP off of making those. So before I can go to the smithing minigame, there is one more thing that I have to do, and that is the Sleeping Giants quest, which is meant to be like a super short quest. It shouldn't take more than, I think, like 10 minutes to do. Hey, there is the quest completed, so now I am going to go look at some guides to get a general idea of what I'm doing here, and then I will see you guys back in a bit. It's looking like I'm not going to be getting the max possible XP rates that I can off the start here, and that's because in this shop, you can actually buy, of course, the outfit, which is going to make this faster as well, but you can also buy different molds in here, and these molds will end up giving you higher XP rates just because they're higher tier with everything in here. So as I'm smithing, I'm going to be unlocking these, and then I'll have an idea once I have the majority of them on what my XP rates are actually going to be. So just to briefly show how this works for the people that don't know, the first thing you're going to do here is get a contract, and for example for this one it's going to be a sword that is broad and light, and this is going to be random every single time. Then you go through all of the parts of the blade and you want to find the parts that have the highest numbers on here. Of course, the highest numbers, the higher the XP you'll get from it. After that, you run up to the top to the bank and you take out the bars that you want to use. And for me, I'm going to be using the 14 myth and 14 steel. And then you put them on the crucible and you pour it. So for making the sword here, essentially what you're doing is just going back and forth between the 3 different workplaces. And you can see on the bottom bar, they are always randomized. The north station is red, the middle one is yellow, and the far southern one is green. So you basically have to regulate the temperature of the blade depending on which station you're at, and you can cool it down at the waterfall or heat it up on the lava, and depending on which station you're using, you're going to have certain temperatures. Once the bar on the bottom reaches the very end, you can turn the blade in and you'll see you get a XP reward and also some coins. Also, really quickly here, I wanted to mention as well why I'm using steel and myth and not myth and addy. It's because addy's a lot harder to get, and I don't have any of it right now. Getting access to the steel and myth is just a lot easier, and the XP rates you get from doing myth and addy isn't actually too much higher than you get doing this. But yeah, at this point, I want to go ahead and test a full hour of this to get an idea of what the XP rates are going to be. So if you guys look in the top left of my screen, that is a little over an hour done, and I'm going to be averaging about 112k per hour. I'm really hoping that by the time I get all of the molds and the outfit that this goes up to about 150 to 160k. But if you look at my inventory here, I made 208k that hour, which is kind of crazy considering that I didn't have to buy any of my supplies. So this was pure profit for me. So I'm going to go in here to the shop, and it looks like I have 1,400 points now. There's a decent amount of molds in here, like I showed before. I don't know how many points it's going to cost to get all of these, but I am going to continue going for all of these. And I'll see you guys back once I get all of them. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I am currently level 85 smithing. Just a quick level to show you guys here, that's level 86 smithing. This ended up only taking me around 3 hours to get all of the molds, but there we go, all of the molds unlocked now. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is going for the set here, and yeah, this is going to take probably 10 or more hours. This is a lot of points to get all of these. Also, something I forgot to mention before is that I ended up using 168 bars per hour, a lot less than what I originally thought it was going to. But yeah, now that I have all the molds unlocked, I want to do another hour test to see how much my XP rates have gone up. Okay, so this turned out to be pretty crazy. If you look on the top left, 167,000 XP gain this hour. Compare that to the 112k I got before I unlocked all of the molds, and it's a crazy difference how much better it makes it. I'm wondering, on top of this, if the outfit will be able to push me to maybe like 180k or so. I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make, but regardless, I am going to be going for that now because I still want to test it in this video. I'll probably do updates when I get levels and pieces of the set, because I am going to be buying those as I go. Alright, so for the first piece of the set, I decided to go with the gloves here. And another thing, I am getting over 180k XP per hour right now. I know I showed 167k before, but this is going to vary a lot depending on like how lucky you get with parts. So it's definitely plausible that I could hold 180k per hour even without the outfit here. Also, something I was really worried about is that I'd have to give up the ice gloves to be able to use the smithing gloves here. We can actually use them on each other and combine them, so that's really helpful. And there is a level 88 smithing, and that is the second piece. I decided to go with the boots here. Okay, I am almost out of bars now, so I am gonna head over to the blast furnace again and make probably about 1,200 more of each. That should be enough to get me the rest of the points that I need, which is about 6,800, and I assume that's going to take about 4 more hours of this. Alright, and there's the 1,200 bars, so back to the minigame. And there is level 89 smithing, and that is the top unlocked, only 1 more left to go. 2 things here. The first, that is level 90 smithing, which I'm very surprised I got from this video. I'm not going to lie, that's 2 million smithing XP gained. And also, this is pretty good timing. I can also buy the final piece of the set, which is the bottoms. So now I have the entire set, and I'm going to do a full hour testing this. Well, this pretty far exceeded my expectations, 189.7k. If we go back to what I had the first time, it was 112k without the molds, and then I think 167k when I had all the molds and no pieces of the set. And now when I have everything, it's 190k. And of course, this is based off 1 hour, so it could be more, it could be a little bit less. But I could say it's probably consistently going to be over 180k per hour, which is really ridiculous when you take into account that the old meta was doing gold ore, which is like, I think 230, 240k an hour if you count the time it takes to buy the gold ore. And also doing this, you're not losing 80 million GP, so it's kind of a really nice trade-off. I also made 4 million GP off the 2.2 million smithing XP I gained, so it's even profit. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. I'll show you guys all the stats on the screen. I gained a lot of levels in this video. Originally, I was just going to stop after I got 99 construction, but I was really interested in trying the smithing minigame, and I ended up putting a lot more into it. So thank you guys, as usual, for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one with probably some mining content. I'm only 2 skills away from all 90s, so that might be the goal for the next video.